Dear children, welcome to the 6th session of 8th class 5th unit Education and Career. In this session, we are going to discuss the question answers of this particular A and B readings. So, first question we see in this is, why could not Hafiz join either the police or the army? Now we will take the answer from the text a little. Then first let's read this particular text and then we will design our own answer. So, how did you get into the field of architecture? So that was the question. From there itself we get the answer. So in the college for architecture, nobody who had got below 80 or 85% was allowed to enter. I had only 50%. I wanted to join army. I got my admission letter, but my aunt tore it up. Then I decided that I wanted to join police force. My mother said, don't join police force, just do your graduation. So I went to join Jai Hind College in Bombay. So children, here what we see is, he wanted to join in army. The question is, why he could not join? Why he could not join was, his aunt tore the admission letter for the army, and so he could not join the army. And then when he wanted to apply for the police force, his mother strongly discouraged him for joining the police force. She only asked him to join for degree, for a graduation. So now after reading this, we will design our answer. So how we can put it in our own words is that, when he got a call letter for joining in army, his aunt tore the letter. His mother did not want him to join police force, because when he said he wanted to join, his mother did not want him. She told him not to join. So he could not join police force or army. Just this part can be, these 3 points can be mentioned as a part of the answer. So this answer would be sufficient for us to consider the answer. Now let's look at the second question. What made Hafiz become an architect? So now let's take some extracts from the textbook. So we know that it all happened by chance. Okay, how he became an architect. So for that we heard the story. We heard the story that when after joining his graduation, he was to opt for one of the two languages, either Germany or French. First he opted for Germany, and after death of his German teacher, the college management asked him either to take French or to leave the college. Then he thought of taking tuition in French language. So he used to take the classes for French language from his cousin. She was the wife of an architect. And then by chance, one day he saw a drawing which was placed on the table, and then there was a building designed there, and they were drawing of the window details of the building. And then after looking at this, Hafiz contractor says, this window will not open after completing the construction. They had a bet with Hafiz and really after the construction they could not open it. So at that time they realized how sharp he was at the drawing and at designing something. And then he asked him to join the college. So we know all the story. Now the answer is not all this. The answer is what were his different qualities that made him an architect. So instead of mentioning all this, let's suppose if they ask you how he entered the field of architecture, we have to say all the story. But here what they are asking is what made Hafiz become an architect. So here we have to mention the qualities that made him an architect. So now let us see. Apart from his innate qualities such as having flair for sketches, remembering something as a photograph, finding practical thinking like cutting buttons out of chalk, he was unconventionally trained by being a street smart, that is, being a good sportsman, being mischievous in the class. So what we understand here is he had natural abilities for drawing and then natural ability for remembering something as a photograph and then natural ability of having a practical thinking, as we have seen cutting button out of the chalk. Another one is when the water was flowing, he used to think how to stop that water and how much what should be the size of the dam which would be able to hold that particular water. This is how he used to practically think. And then this practical thinking, these were all the natural abilities. And then his trained abilities they were all trained by unconventional methods. That's what we see being street smart. Being street smart is he was a good sportsman. And being trained in sportsman, he knows how to shoot a ball from straight angle, from the side angle and so on. And that's how he could become a good sportsman. And then the same abilities and the similar abilities that are in the playground are also in the architecture. That's why he could become an architect. And then by being mischievous in the class, by managing the gangs, he was able to have the leadership qualities, he was able to plan, he was able to have strategies and so on. All this will contribute, all these qualities made him an architect. Now let's look at the third question. Why did Hafiz's teacher think that he could become an architect? And this is the paragraph that we see from the lesson. In school, when I was in second or third standard, one of my teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw my sketches and told me, "See, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you will become an architect." I did not know at that time, but she was right. Later, after I became an architect, I went back to meet her and told her. So, what we see here is he is narrating as an incident, and the incident is when he was in the third standard, his teacher saw him when he was doing some sketches, and then his teacher really identified that he could become a good architect. So that's what we see. That's how we. Now let us see how to put it in the form of an answer. When Hafiz was in third standard, his teacher, Miss Gupta, looked at the sketches he had drawn and identified that he had flair for drawing sketches. So, That's how the teacher has identified him, that he could become a great architect, very much in advance, well in advance. Let's look at the next question, fourth question. Why do you think Hafiz was not interested in studies? So, before we design our own answer, let's see what would be the answer given by Hafiz the contractor himself. I was very bad at languages. Science and geography I could deal with. Maths was very bad. So he did not have interest in studies because he was very bad at language. So that we have seen in the previous sessions, we have seen that though he studied French for 7 years, he did not know the 7 words of French. So that's what we know. He did not know French properly. That means he was very bad at languages. Then science and geography he could deal with. So he says that he could only manage with science and geography. Just he could manage. Maybe he could get some pass marks, or he could get just with 50% of marks he could get out. But when coming on to the mathematics, we know that even later, many years after his studies, he was getting the nightmares of the maths examinations. That's why we know that he did not know anything of the mathematics. And then I just was not interested. He says he was not at all interested in the studies. I was studying for the sake of studying. So here what we understand is he was studying because he was made to join in a college, and he joined in the school. So he has to pass on his years. That's why he was studying. He was studying just for the sake of passing, just for the sake of promotion to the next class, just for the sake of a certificate. He was just studying. What they taught me today, I would forget after 2 days. So whatever was taught in the class, whether it might be science, geography, or the languages or mathematics, he used to forget immediately, or maybe a day or 2 days later he used to forget. I would not bother because there was no application of the mind there to begin with. So if we have to remember anything, we need to apply the knowledge we gain through our classes. For example, we learn something in a class, and then if we can apply it, maybe some lesson you have learned in the science class, and if you are able to apply it in your daily life, then you can remember it for longer. But if that is missing, if that application is missing, we will not be able to remember that particular content for longer. So in the first stage itself, he did not have that application of the mind. That's why he used to forget everything. Now let us see how we can design the answer. Why do you think Hafiz was not interested in studies? So we can design the answer like this. So we cannot write as it is given in the textbook. So we have to design an answer in our own words. He was bad at languages. Though he could manage with geography and science, he was very bad at mathematics. What they taught him today, he used to forget after 2 days. He was just not interested in his studies. He was interested in games, playing jokes and pranks on others, etc. So what we know is, so he was not able to remember the languages, or he was not able to remember his subjects. He was not able to pay attention to his teachers. Though he paid attention to his teachers, he used to forget all those in about 2 days or in about a day or two. But he was interested in playing games, in playing jokes and pranks on other people, in watching the movies, and so on and so forth. That's why this answer would be proper. Now we will move on to the fifth question. So the fifth question is, comment on the statement, giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. How do Hafiz's experiences support the statement? So we know that giftedness is being highly talented in something. So here the word giftedness means being highly talented in something. We have seen two examples of Albert Einstein and Thomas Alva Edison. These two people, and there are many other examples also, but these two people, they were highly gifted people. They had a very specialized knowledge. Albert Einstein was a great physical scientist, and when we see Thomas Alva Edison, he was also a physical scientist, and he invented bulb, and he made number of inventions, and he has contributed greatly for the growth of science. But today, though they were so great, though they had giftedness in those two areas, they have been initially sent out of their school by the teachers. They thought that these people were doing very badly in their academics, and so they were sent out. And this is the question that Hafiz the contractor was asked. Okay, so giftedness and learning disabilities go in hand in hand. What does it mean is, when you are gifted in something, you are not good at academics. So what experiences does he quote in order to say this point is right? Now let us see what Hafiz the contractor says. In school, I think living our lives there made us street smarts. So in school, what happens is, they were made to all the time study, especially when they are in a boarding school. When they are in a school, when they are in a hostel, like, they have all the time, they make them to sit and study. So at that time, they feel very restless. They wanted to have some freedom, and then, so in order to gain that freedom, they break the basic laws. They become mischievous, they disturb others, they play in the classroom, and so on. So that's what he says. In school, I think living our lives there made us street smarts. Being a street smart is being trained unconventionally. Okay, I told you in the previous session the difference between street smart and a classroom smart. Classroom smarts are those people who come to school punctually, who listen to the classes well, who answers the questions of the teacher very well, who do the homework well, and those who get good marks in the examinations. These are classroom smarts. And who are the street smarts? Who break the classroom rules. They don't listen to the class, they create distraction, and they copy in the examination, but they maintain the gang fights, and they go and play out in the playground. They play jokes and pranks on others, and even by these methods also they can be trained. That's what we have seen in the case of Hafiz the contractor. I have learnt more by doing what I did on my own than what academics would have taught me. So what he says is, he was taught more by the games and other, by being a street smart, than what academics taught him. And we have some more answers here. That is, one point I would like to mention here is that the people who were classroom smarts, those who were doing well in academics, they all ended up maybe doing very small jobs. Even we have seen in the case of Thomas Alva Edison and Albert Einstein, there might have been many people who were very clever in their classes, but now they are not seen in the history. But here today, what we see is, we see only these people who are really gifted, we see in the pages of history. They have invented many things, they have invented many theories, they have invented many gadgets which we are enjoying today. So now we'll see whether he agrees or not. He says, Hafiz says he agrees with the interviewer that those who were good at academics, or we call them as classroom smarts, are doing very ordinary jobs. So those people, maybe they are working maybe as those toppers of the class, they are working maybe as teachers, they are working maybe as engineers, and they are working maybe as doctors and so on. But today, Hafiz the contractor employs, or he takes many people as his employees, such classroom smarts. So now who is bigger? Hafiz the contractor is bigger than those classroom smarts. That's why he says all those classroom smarts who were doing well in the academics, they were doing very, very ordinary jobs. He describes himself as street smart. So he describes himself as street smart, and whereas he describes those who are doing well in the academics as classroom smarts, and they are doing very ordinary jobs. Okay, which means that he was trained through unconventional mode of learning, that is by being good at sports, by being a leader of a gang, and by inventing practical solutions to the problem. This is how he was gifted, and so he can become greater than those of classroom smarts. Classroom smarts, they confined, maybe they work in just their confinement. They are given a circle, they just work there, and then they don't really become they work very, very, very ordinary jobs, because they go with this, they are very comfortably fit into the small circle that they are given. Now we look at the next question. What, according to Hafiz, is mathematics? Do you agree with his view of mathematics? Give reasons. Yes. Before we go to the next one, we go to framing the answer, we'll just see what answer the Hafiz contractor gives. Call it instinct, call it arithmetic, whatever. Now it comes to me like mathematics, putting design, construction, psychology and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics. According to him, everything is mathematics. So if you are working precisely on some construction which is suitable to his client, is mathematics. And then how does he work on that? First he makes an assessment of his client. When client talks, first he watches the facial expressions of the client. Then he looks at the way he dresses. Then he looks at the way he talks. Then he looks at the way he eats. So putting all these things together. So all these are the sub aspects of the psychology and sociology. So putting these three things together, he makes a design. He puts a design. And after putting the design, he shows it to them. And then it very accurately meets the desire of the client. And then he gives it in his office for further construction of the design. So this is how. So since it meets accurately what the client wants, he calls it as mathematics. Okay, so that's what he says. I look at client's face, his clothes, the way he talks, the way he pronounces, the way he eats, and I would know what his taste would be like. I can relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. I sketch very spontaneously on a paper on the spot. That paper I give to my people in the office. So what we have read, we'll just put it in our own words, not in the as it is given in the text, but we'll put it in our own words. So we'll see. According to Hafiz, assessing one's likes and dislikes, and there he giving the design exactly appealing to his client basing on the way one dresses, one speaks his language, and pronounces one's facial expressions. He calls it as mathematics. So design it exactly by making an assessment of his client. He gives the design and then he proceeds further for construction. That all he considers as mathematics. So thank you children. With this we will end this session, and we have successfully completed the question answers. And further I urge you to read and become more acquainted with the text. Try to learn more about vocabulary. Thank you very much children. Bye.